Welcome, the Gamer Man's Lounge. Awaken to play.
Hopefully things are going well for you guys as for me. Welcome to another commentary video. This time it's going to be the experimental commentary video. I'm going to go ahead and try it twice, and it looks like I'm starting to like it and enjoy how things are going. When it comes to these hot pot commentary videos that I have in mind, it's like more chill, more relaxed, more for everybody having a good time, and kind of like added more than my traditional commentaries. However, while I get this commentary up and running, I got like a really big thing going down to edit. Like, it's gonna be crazy. And of course, I have been figuring things out in the month of June. But however, before I get things figured out in the month of June, I gotta get this month figured out already. So as soon as I go ahead and get this month figured out, I could pretty much go into what's going to go down in June, because June, we're going to be nearing summertime, and there's going to be lots of antics from left and right considering summer. So with that totally said, if there's going to be antics in summertime, then there will be antics in summertime on this goddamn YouTube channel. And that's all I got to say. I think that take this as a quick announcement before we go on these commentaries. So with that totally said, let's get right on going. Well, it looks like I'm going to wind up revisiting this topic about next generation consoles, and what I mean by that is essentially PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. Now, I did say in a previous video that you're probably going to have more luck getting a next generation console, especially a new GPU, in the year 2022, and you're not going to have much luck in the year 2021. But, however, it just seems that between the time frame of, like, console launch, which was, like, holiday season 2020, and then just fast-forwarding to now, it just seems to be that month after month after month, there seems to be some crazy, gritty revelation, and I'm just sitting around here shocked and appalled. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? However, it just seems that month after month after month after month, that there seems to be some shenanigans that would go and, like, reveal itself in terms of console gaming in general, involving console gaming in general. Now, one example, for Sony to ever implement, to be that drastic, to implement this stupidly drastic CMOS DRM that would brick your PlayStation 3 from your digital purchases. And of course, if you head on over to the PlayStation 4, it's even fucking worse. Not only would your digital downloads be bricked off your PlayStation 4, meaning you're not going to be able to run any PlayStation 4 digital copy, but physical copies as well. And guess what? Even if you own a physical copy, it doesn't even matter. Your PlayStation 4 CMOS battery dies and PlayStation 4 servers are gone, you're not going to be able to play anything, play jack shit on your PlayStation 4, even digital or even physical. Thanks to Hikikomori Media for putting this situation on blast and kind of like pretty much revealing to everybody the whole CMOS shenanigans with the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 4. He really put together a really good detailed video, and I'm going to make sure that in the description, I'm going to go ahead and link everybody to that video. So links in the description to that video. It's well put together, well detailed, and definitely worth checking out. Hikikomori Media has put together a really great, informative video on that whole CMOS DRM drama. Anyway, let's keep right on going. That's how fucking stupidly drastic this DRM thing that Sony has implemented. And yet, back in 2013... Sony's, like, basically kind of, like, roasting Microsoft over this whole online DRM situation. After that, and they would implement something like that. And then another thing I'm going to go ahead and talk about is the whole Super Mario 3D All-Star stunt. I said it back then, and I'm going to say it again. It was a stupid idea. It was a dumb idea. It was a ridiculous idea. It should have never been implemented in the first place. It should have just been stayed up on the goddamn Nintendo eShop, but no, they wanted to pull this limited run maneuver. However, enough rambling, and pretty much let's go ahead and reignite the question as to, okay, now that months have passed and all the shenanigans have been pretty much unfolding, alright, okay, now let's get to that question. Which next generation console am I considering? What next generation console would I rather have? PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X? However, the grass ain't greener on the other side, but however, to be honest with you here, considering what PlayStation's doing, well, I'm going to consider an Xbox Series X. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say that Microsoft has a tendency to not be so very bright, and they jump to some ideas that kind of have you going, what in the fuck are you thinking? Also, Microsoft likes to do this monkey see, monkey do shenanigans, especially with its competitor being PlayStation and Sony. Yeah, the whole idea of trying to enforce a content policy on Galgun returns was not really a very wise idea at all. It was actually a pretty dumb idea to begin with. However, at the same time, it was just basically, okay, we'll catch up with Sony by making sure our content is safe for our brand, just like Sony's doing. Microsoft doesn't want to do something like that. When Sony is having their little international content policy oh so strict and heavily brutalizingly kind of alienating Japanese audiences and screwing over Japanese devs, especially kind of like kneecapping their creative freedoms. Yeah, if it's coming back and biting Sony in the ass, then it's probably not a good idea to play follow the leader with that. And then also basically kind of like joining Sony in pretty much entertaining the bad habit of like bad reveal events, as well as that whole shenanigans with the Butterfinger stuff with Halo Infinite. Yeah, when you delayed the game, maybe you should have contacted Butterfinger into basically delaying the event. But however, with that totally said, the grass ain't greener on the other side. But however, considering how Xbox Series X has compared to PlayStation 5, might as well just go with the Series X at that point and take what I can get. However, Xbox Series X, or if you want to go for the affordable route, Xbox Series S, has backwards compatibility way more compared to PlayStation 5. Like, we're talking about Xbox Classic to Xbox One. And yes, I'm talking about Xbox Classic, Xbox 360, and Xbox One games being forwards compatible with Xbox Series X and S, just like how Xbox One was backwards compatible with Xbox 360, Xbox Classic, and Xbox One games. And of course, Xbox Game Pass, where you pay subscription prices, but however, at the same time, you kind of like get like more games to access and available to you without ever paying like $60 each. So like there's like a bunch of games, all the games you could just access just for subscription prices. And on top of that, you could just get yourself Xbox Live Gold included in there. You get a lot of little perks included in there. Oh yeah, Xbox Cloud Gaming, the Project X Cloud. All right. You can play your games in the cloud on your mobile phone. So, yeah, you could play Halo on your phone through the cloud when you're basically sitting at a Denny's with your family waiting for dinner. Yeah, that's crazy. And then on top of that, Xbox Live Gold. And then pretty much you have access for games in your library. All right. And I'm talking Windows 10 PC and Xbox Series X, if you get the Ultimate. Alright, the Ultimate is like a hell of a big package, and because of the Ultimate also adding in perks, it's just, yeah, Xbox Series X is going to be really good to you. Or Xbox Game Pass is going to be really good to you. And then you get the crossplay between your PC and Xbox. And then the cross-stuff shenanigans between the, especially cloud, your gaming PC, and your Xbox. And also, the fact that there's cross-platform multiplayer, like say when it comes to Minecraft, you could like pretty much play with your Xbox friends or your Nintendo Switch friends. Now, let's just say one buddy is playing on PC, the other buddy is playing on the Switch, and then the other buddy's playing on the Xbox, and then the other buddy's playing on the Android tablet. So guess what? What's going to wind up happening? They're all going to play together in harmony. There's no issue whatsoever. Compared to Sony, and it had to be a hell of a fight to finally get Sony into even considering it in the first place. And really, to be honest with you here, I seem to notice this. Whenever Microsoft fucks up, they just go on this road to redemption, and they try to basically atone for their big-time fuck-ups. And they do what they can to atone for their fuck-ups, especially their big-time fuck-ups. Like I said, nobody's perfect and the grass ain't greener on the other side, but after hearing so much, I have way more of a sour taste towards PlayStation than ever. Like, ever since I heard about the international content policy being in place, I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna even bother paying for PlayStation Plus at all. I'm done with PlayStation Plus. I want to go to Xbox Series, look at the backwards compatibility that they have compared to PlayStation 5. Okay, pretty good. And then their latest shenanigans unfolded, and then I'm sitting here like, what? No way. And I'm like, okay, all right. Now, keep in mind, I have been pretty much getting like PlayStation 3 and then PlayStation 4 and then upgraded to a PlayStation 4 Pro. Now I kind of feel remorseful. Now, I was starting to feel the remorse when it came to that international content policy, but, however, fast forwarding to now, I even feel fucking remorseful for even touching on a Sony product in the first place. I felt like I should have touched on a 360. Hell, I should have even gotten an Xbox One X instead of a PlayStation 4 Pro, to be honest with you here. Oh well, might as well just look forward to the day I get an Xbox Series X, and when I get my Xbox Series X, might as well just get my Xbox Series X copy of Samurai Showdown 2019, and then pretty much get all the season passes, and then I'm happy. Well, KOF 14 may be on PlayStation, but it's on Steam. And hopefully, we could hope for King of Fighters 15 to be on Xbox Series X. But if it ain't going to Xbox Series X, I hope it goes to Steam. And if it goes to the Epic Game Store, I'm fucked. Oh well, I mean, after all the shenanigans that Sony is guilty of, I don't think I would ever even consider a PlayStation 5. And even if Sony does redeem themselves, it's going to take a long road. It's going to be a hell of a long road to even fucking redeem themselves and recover from the shenanigans that they have pretty much essentially did. Like, Sony can be like, ooh, Demon's Souls remake, ooh, Final Fantasy 16, and I'm sitting here like, nah, not after all this shit that you're guilty of. Fuck no, I'm not getting a PlayStation 5. Oh yeah, perfect timing for things to get me looking forward to an Xbox Series X, because I'm starting to get into Xbox collecting, meaning Xbox Classic and Xbox 360. So basically, to conclude it, my next generation console choice is gonna have to wind up being Xbox Series X. And no, don't even start about this whole next generation Switch Pro rumor shit that people got going. I'm sick and tired of hearing people coming out of nowhere going like, oh yeah, Switch Pro, next generation Switch. Pretty much the quote-unquote Smash leakers have already cried wolf, and people are already starting to do that with that Switch Pro, so I'm not buying anything about a next generation Switch, unless a couple of years later down the line. I'm just waiting for a Nintendo to say something later down the line. But, however, until confirmation of the next generation Switch, I think I'll get that as well as soon as I get a hold of an Xbox Series X. Okay, now let's go ahead and have a wonderful, nice little discussion about technology and system updates and firmware updates. Oh yeah, we're on that conversation. Now, what I'm using here is a different mic, and I bought another mic for a reason. What it is, it's like a Samsung Go mic, so it's like kind of like a studio style mic. However, on the go, And I did test it out. You can plug it into your smartphone. I do gotta get a hold of a Type-C OTG cable to plug into my tablet and whatnot. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the story of my life. Now, there was this laptop that I bought, and I had to go through some stuff and did some repairs and had to do like a system recovery. Basically, reboot my computer because there was some weird hard drive glitch that was going on, and basically had to do a system recovery to fix that. Now, what happened here was that I did fix it, I did get it updated, but, however, I did manage to leave the laptop outdated, and I'll explain that in pretty much a bit. What happened is that it was just essentially around, I guess you could say, October, if I remember right, October 2019, and then basically I had to go through the shenanigans and whatnot, and basically I shut it down my computer after I downloaded this one update after I had to do that system recovery, and I shut it down and I left it around here, and I think pretty much ever since I have not ever yet to touch my laptop at all because stuff ended up happening, and 2020 being 2020, and thanks to 2020 being 2020, I have not touched my laptop in about a fucking year, mind you. A whole fucking year. It was like, wow. I'm like, shit, it has been a long fucking time. So, because of this, I had to get my laptop pretty much caught up with updates from left and right, and so far I got everything aired out, figured out, going well, and pretty much I was able to reinstall the editing software and my audio editing software and software from left and right, and pretty much install my browsers and pretty much implement some stuff that wound up happening with my laptop from left and right. And after all that, my laptop is good to go. But let's be honest here. Let this story teach you something. When you have firmware updates, like when there's updates that need to be touched on, make sure all your stuff is pretty much caught up to date with mother-loving firmware updates, especially Windows updates. Because guess what? It's going to be a pain in your ass, alright? To make sure I have all of the updates and I'm caught up on my laptop, it took me like a full day, and I had to stay up until 3 a.m. And when it comes to a year's worth of updates that you have to download, yeah, it's gonna take you a long time, a whole fucking long time. That totally said, it be like that sometimes. Stuff happens, and it happens. Now, what happened is, well, to be fair, I did sleep in till noon. Alright, now, I woke up in the noon, something happened, and then the next thing you know, I'm like, okay, I should pretty much update my laptop. I haven't touched it in about a year. I gotta go ahead and get the stuff out, get things all tidy, and then pretty much get things figured out and narrowed out from left and right. So I went ahead, reached for my laptop bag, and pretty much get my laptop out of there. I didn't have to deal with any dust cleaning since basically the laptop bag has been doing a bang-up job of protecting my PC from the dust, and it has barely been collecting dust, to be honest with you here, and it's all thanks to that laptop bag. However, I do want to go ahead and say this. The laptop bag was covered in dust. It was dusty as hell. I had to pretty much get a hold of a wet cloth and wipe the dirt off with the wet, like, it was just, okay, covered in dust. It wasn't that big of a deal, but no, I had to go with the wet cloth, just wipe clean the dust off that laptop bag, and I'm good. However, there's this little thing called a lap desk where you could just put your laptop on it, and basically it's like a flat surface for your laptop to sit comfortably in a nutshell. And it's also for, like, writing essays while you're in bed or something, or breakfast I highly doubt breakfast in bed. Also, by the way, I've completely forgot what that item was called, but however, whatever that item was supposed to be called, it needed to be cleaned as well. It needed to have the dust off, so I kind of, like, submerged it in, like, a pool of water, grabbed a couple of detergent pods, and then pretty much washed a little piece of furniture and then let out to dry. And then pretty much as soon as it was pretty much dry enough, I was able to use that desk and I was able to sit my laptop comfortably on this surface. So yeah, everything that needed to be cleaned up and dusted off, that's already done and dealt with. And my laptop was just simply just sitting on the bed, my bed, basically charging while also at the same time updating. And the updates would just range from like 1 hour to 2 hours. And then I had to go ahead and make sure I manually install that feature update from left and right. So yeah, any feature updates that needed to be installed, made sure. And from all of the updates in total, and all of the stuff in total, plus the device firmwares related to my laptop and whatnot, it took about an entire night and an entire evening, as well as have me up till 3 a.m. So basically, let this whole story, like this whole story time, be a lesson to you, and make sure that all of your firmwares are updated from left and right. Otherwise, if you kind of procrastinate on it for about a year, it's going to come back and bite you in the ass. Anyway, that's going to be it for the commentary video, and I will be looking forward to you in the next video. Peace out.